Hey, what's up YouTube? So today I'm going to showcase a ranged hybrid endgame build for the Magicka Sorcerer. This Magicka Sorcerer is going to use double staves, meaning it'll be fully at range. This build is capable of pulling over 112k on the parse dummy, and because this is a hybrid build, we're going to be using medium armor, thus depending on the content, you may struggle for penetration. If that's the case, light armor is a perfectly viable alternative as well. So very quickly, character sheet, 64 points in a Magicka, and Thief Mundus as per usual. For the race, because this is a Magicka based build, we're going to be going high elf, probably the best choice. For food, the usual 3 will apply. This is Clockwork Sister Souffle for anything hard. Cheaper and easier to acquire option would be Witch Mother's Potion Brew, and lastly, if you're parsing or need more sustain, Ghastly Eyeball is always the go-to. For the potions, we're going to keep it super simple and just run Essence of Spell Power. Reason is we don't have access to Major Sorcery or Prophecy, and those are 2 necessary buffs for Magicka DPS. Make sure you have 3 points from medicinal use from the alchemy skill line to benefit from the full duration of the potions. So for CP, for the blue tree, we're going to be running Exploiter, Master at Arms, Deadly Aim, and Wrathful Strikes. Swap out Exploiter for crit damage CP, especially in content if you need more crit damage. Fighting Finesse and Backstabber are both good alternatives. For the red CP, we have Sustained by Suffering, Siphoning Spells, Rejuvenation, and Balanced Vitality. Feel free to swap out Sustained by Suffering and Siphoning Spells for whatever you may need. So for the gear, we're just running a typical setup with Reliquin, Pillar, Maul, Infernal, and a Harpooner's Waiting Kill. So in the main hand, we have a Precise, Flame Damage, Glyph, Reliquin, Inferno Staff. On the back bar, we have a Pillar Nern infused with a Weapon Damage enchant. This is also another Inferno Staff. So on the front bar, we have 5-piece Reliquin, back bar, 5-piece Pillar Nern. For the head slot, we have a light Maul Infernal in Divines with a Max Mag enchant. For the shoulders, medium Maul Infernal, Divines with a Max Mag enchant. For 4 pieces of the body, we have Reliquin, all traded Divines with Max Mag enchants. And for the leg slot, we have a Harpooner's Waiting Kilt in Divines with a Max Mag enchant. And for the jewelry, 3 pieces of Pillar Nern jewelry, all traded in Bloodthirsty with weapon and spell damage enchants. So for the skills, we're running Daedric Prey. This is a very important dot because it's going to increase all of our pet damage. This also includes Maul Infernal. Crystal Fragments are spammable. Mage's Wrath are execute. Volatile Familiar and Twilight Tormentor are 2 Sorc pets. And Power Overload is really good on the dummy, but unless you're burning a 500 ult, you should slot Dawnbreaker here instead. In the back bar, we have Lightweight Beast Trap because we're at range, and this is our access to Minor Force. Unstable Wall of Fire because we're running an Inferno Staff, and this is going to also proc Pillar because it has the same cooldown. Shadow Silk, this is because our Mag Sustain is at the best, so another Stam based skill would probably be a good option. Don't recast this early because it does explode at the end. And our 2 pets, because if we don't have them on both bars, these disappear. And lastly, Greater Storm Matronach. This is the ult we're going to be using. For the rotation, prioritize keeping up Daedric Prey. It should be casted every 6th skill. For all of your other dots, just make sure you recast them when they expire. This includes Wall, Trap, Silk, and Volatile Familiar. And then when you don't have anything better to cast, just use your Crystal Fragments. And then at 20%, start using your Mage's Wrath, but also use your proc Crystal Frags. And then whenever your Atronach is ready, just drop your Atro. And then the Twilight is just slotted there for the passive damage, and you can cast it once during the pre-buff, but other than that, just leave it alone. And then Power Overload is on the bar to ult dump a 500 ult for parsing. So because we are only running Reliquin on 1 bar, be mindful that you can't spend too much time on your back bar, otherwise you're going to lose your Reliquin stacks. If losing stacks is an issue or you don't want to deal with it, you can take off Harpooners and then just run Reliquin on the body, and then run like a Maelstrom Inferno on the back bar, and you should be good to go. And just very quickly, some alternative gear sets. You can also run something like Sororia, Bosse, or even Whirl. And if you want more medium armor, you could just mix and match with Pillar, because Pillar is medium, so even though the trial sets are light, you can wear a lot of the Pillar on the body or mix and match to however many medium and light you want. Also, just very quickly, if you don't want to run Harpooners in content, you can always swap it out for something like Death Dealer as well. That wraps up the build explanation section of this portion. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to leave them in the comment section down below, or better yet, come join our Discord. Link is in the description. I will have a written guide attached in the description for those who would prefer that. And as always, thank you to my YouTube members. If you want to help me support my content creation, please consider becoming a member. And as always, thanks again, and see you in the next one.